my like Octurian self, Q and Thoth and Leonardo da Vinci, they like kind of like flew over on a like a flying carpet from Aladdin. And they were just like, we're gonna go on an adventure today.
Okay,
and then and then I asked, I was like, are we all gonna fit on this flying carpet? And they just started laughing.
that's so funny. Yeah, they're like, we can make it bigger, like whatever you need. Where do they
Always
want to
come
take
to
you?
like they always come to me in just like the funniest ways. It's ridiculous.
Now, where do they want to take you today?
So, you know, like that part of Aladdin where they're like going into the cave, um, like down into the darkness, and then do you know what part I'm talking about? Like
Right,
with the
right.
lava, and then they have to escape. So they're telling me that that's like what Leonardo da Vinci's work represents. It's like it's the hidden meaning behind the darkness, and um it's hidden by the shadows. So it's like all of his work is coding, like all of his work is um it's like coding behind the darkness to help us find the light now. Like to escape this darkness, we can use his work. Um, oh my gosh,
Now,
okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. The, the bird from Aladdin like just stopped by and said hi to me. Okay, so we're gonna go today.
They really, out of all themes, they've chosen Aladdin, huh? We're going with this.
Yeah, it's
Are we
pretty interesting.
the original version or Disney version?
Hopefully the Disney version, because the original one is even worse.
Oh my God. So how can the coding help us? Like, okay, so say the like Mona Lisa, right? Like say we look at that. How does the coding help us by visualizing that? Is it like something that it's something we can't see, or what does it do?
So too, it's all meant like to the naked eye, just the normal person looking at it, you would think like, oh, that's a great piece of artwork, but then just move on. But he's saying like to the seeker, like or to the person ready to see. And it's like I'm seeing like it's like I'm looking at the Mona Lisa and she's reflecting like her third eye back to me. And it's like it's for people that are ready to see. So it's like you can begin to study this artwork and find all of the hidden meanings within it.
Is there like a master key for it, like that a legend, so that you can understand it, or is that legend within you?
So it's almost like you can match. So he put geometrical frequencies inside of the paintings. So it's like you can read the frequency and understand and interpret the information just by looking at it, but you have to know how to tune your frequency to that information. So it's like his paintings are information.
Okay. Um, and was that meant specifically for this time, or have those frequencies that are encoded in there been beneficial for all time? Like whether it was 100 years ago or now, does it act the same, or was it intended for a specific time frame to activate people?
So it was intended for a smaller group of people to be activated throughout history. So these people are the ones that like really studied his artwork um, through history. That was very activating to them because then they realized that like we are connected to all things, and it helped to teach them that like there's a mathematical equation behind absolutely everything in the universe. So like just to use like an example, so people like Nostradamus that came after him, people like Isaac Newton, like it's like very activating for them when they looked and researched Leonardo da Vinci's work, and it took them onto it like help. I'm seeing like it's like this timeline, and then they hit Da Vinci's work, and it like just completely shifts their perspective. So it was more for like the occult in history. It was more for like these people that were kind of like ahead of their time in history. But now, since more people are able to like elevate their frequencies, they are able to understand this coding and these paintings more.
Is there a specific piece of work that's more beneficial than others for people to be activated by?
So, okay, so I'm like sitting in the Great Pyramid in like a meditation position, and we're in the King's Chamber, and it's like I can see all of the walls around me, and well, it feels like I can like feel myself in the pyramids. It feels really intense. Um, and then I have Leonardo da Vinci on my right side and Thoth on my left side, and he's just showing me that all of our ancient knowledge and all of our ancient wisdom is coded within his paintings, and we're able to access it. So he's kind of showing me like um, the Last Supper. So the Last Supper was extremely important because, like, it's in, I don't know what church is that? Like, I'm seeing it on the wall of a church. Do you know what church the Last Supper is painted on?
No.
I'm
And if
getting the
you
Vatican. So I don't know. Okay, but anyway, I know it's like no, it's not the Vatican. Okay, so anyway, so the Last Supper is painted on a church, and it's almost and it's he's showing me that he encoded Egypt into that painting. So it's like um it would still ground that frequency of all of our ancient knowledge within these churches that we're here to kind of like distort our view of ancient wisdom.
well, did Jesus have ties to Egyptians?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why also that he encoded, or why he, so a lot of his okay, that's pretty cool. So like, oh, he does a lot of paintings of Jesus, or and he does a lot of paintings where like Jesus and Egypt are encoded together because he was trying to portray like what Jesus's real message was. So it's like he was trying to show people that Jesus was like just this beautiful being of pure light and love, from like the Egyptian mystery schools, and from he studied everywhere around the world, just different healing modalities, and he wanted to show like the true essence of who Jesus was. And that's why Jesus is like so encoded into his work.
Which is interesting to me that we're on the subject, because Jesus really never was at a temple or at a church and taught. He always was like at the dinner table or in somebody's house or ministering on the streets. And it's always interesting to me that these pictures of Jesus are always in temples or churches. It's like that's not where, that's from my understanding is Jesus really never taught in a church. Is that true?
Yeah, so I'm being shown that he more just like walked around to different villages, to show people how to heal themselves and to just preach about unconditional love and the importance of like creating miracles for other people.
Okay. Did the did Leonardo, did he have any like what collective is he predominantly, or what collective was he acting on behalf?
The Octurians.
Okay, he's Octurian. Woot woot. We love everyone. And just a shout out for uh, like experiences with the Octurian while he was here on Earth, or did he not know about his connection?
I don't know. Thoth just winked at me, so I don't know if that means like he was Thoth reincarnated. Take what you want with that. That you, I guess, whatever you want. But I think he has some kind of relationship to Thoth for sure, and it makes sense because Thoth is very like into like knowledge and wisdom and leaving behind ancient knowledge for people.
Was he just an aspect of Thoth, like a fract, or was I couldn't imagine that a human body could embody all of Thoth in their body. I think it would just short circuit it.
Yeah, so you could say it was an aspect of Thoth.
Okay. And then with Thoth being here right now, does he have anything he wants to further elaborate or help us understand about uh was Leonardo trying to help us know about kind of the inner dark work that was going on with the government and everything, or was it a bigger thing?
So if we look, most of the conspiracy theories is like to some are true, but some others, like the really dark and deep conspiracy theories, like some of them are to also distort your view or to confuse you. So he's just saying it's so important at this time to use your own discernment and do your own research. Like, um, he's showing me that all of this ancient knowledge is encoded in this artwork, in the Bible, in every single text that has been left for us. There is some kind of deeper encoding with it. So like there's even deeper encoding within the emerald tablets, there's deeper coding within like the Quran, there's deeper coding within all of these ancient like paintings that were left for us. And it's all meant it was all meant to be used by the people that like led the way for us through our ascension. And then it's also now like now we're able to tap into it as a collective because we are raising our consciousness as an entire collective, or that's why like more people are starting to become interested in these older paintings and things like that. But though is he's always like super encouraging to do the research yourself and use your own discernment and um to learn the coding yourself, because you can hear somebody else say something and you can hear somebody else talk about conspiracy theories and how the codes mean this or that, but until you truly look at the coding yourself and realize how incredible this coding is yourself, that's when you realize the deeper part of this reality. And that's when you're really able to like look past the veil of what this reality really is.
I appreciate that. And can they ask to connect with you or to Leonardo to help? Or how would they get, like, how would they best use their discernment to tap into that?
So you can, like, just as a good starting point, like, you can listen to some people on YouTube, but you have to be very careful of what they're saying. Um, okay, so me personally as Ceirra, I always suggest like if you're interested in coding and the just hidden codes and everything, Robert Edward Grant is incredible. He has an entire show on Gaia called Code X, and then just start reading all these ancient texts for yourself. Like read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Billy Carson has an incredible book where you can read the Emerald Tablets yourself, but then he also talks about what Thoth is saying. There's like the Book of Enoch. There's the Sumerian ancient tablets. Like just to start reading all of these and making connections with all of them. And then even if you're interested in artwork, like just glance at, just to look at it and spend time with it and meditate with it and just ask like, what is this artwork telling my soul? Like what frequencies is this artwork sending me? And we can match that frequency to gain the information from that artwork.
Perfect. I love that. Um, how that you're sitting in your perspective, how does it look like humanity's going right now? How are we doing?
So this morning in meditation, we showed Ceirra heaven on earth. We showed her the timeline of heaven on earth. So she works with the timelines. So the before before when the timelines were iffy, we were not able to see the timeline of heaven on earth because you can only see like the infinite potentials that the earth is matching. So like when the timelines were a little iffy and we were still really in that darkness, you could the timelines were more balanced like within the light and the dark. But since a couple weeks ago, it's like we released so much density in a lot of those darker timelines. And for the first time, looking at the present moment, like this just a present moment timeline for Earth, um, heaven on Earth became an option. And we showed Ceirra heaven on earth. Like we actually manifested. If you look at like the timeline of infinite potentials of the future of Earth, heaven on earth has been manifested. It's a extremely high timeline. It's about the highest timeline for Earth at this moment. But this is the first time in the shifted timelines that we've actually seen and manifested heaven on earth. So we are so excited for you, and it's going to be so beautiful.
Love that. I love that. Will we be able to access you more online to be able to have the connectedness with you, or
Sorry, can you ask that again?
like when we do reach that heaven on earth, would we be able to, like, the higher dimensional beings, like, have access to them, like, to pop in our reality?
Yeah, so we'll look more like you'll be able to see and perceive us better. We'll still look more like beings of light. But most people will have a much closer relationship with us.
Perfect.
Like they won't
Are
have to train their minds and their bodies so long to be able to speak with us now. Since you're naturally at a higher vibration, you'll be able to speak with us, and not just us, but like most extraterrestrials. You'll be able to speak with us much more easily.
Love that. Can't wait to have FaceTimes with you guys. On Zoom calls. Are there any other scenes or anything you want to show us that you guys are together on that magic carpet that you can take us to and show us now?
Sorry, I forgot about the magic carpet.
I like do any drive by any balconies or anything? Check out any.
Okay, so they're saying that one of the greatest things that we can do is paint and channel and be artistic. And that's because like we channel all this information. So it's like Leonardo da Vinci channeled all this information. And if you look at things like the gosh, what is it called? The Venusian Man, literally every single aspect of the Great Pyramid is coded into the Venusian Man. It's incredible, but he channeled the whole thing. Like Leonardo da Vinci was a genius. Like he was absolutely so smart, but he channeled the entire thing of like how to create this, how to square the circle, what that even meant, what all the coding of the pyramids represented. So once you learn to open your mind and channel through art, then you can really anchor in this frequency.
That makes complete sense. Like, because he's in the most present moment. And so he's able to step back from all those distractions and just allow the information to come through.
Yeah, and you can even look at people like Isaac Newton when he was writing all the like you can just look at math as like coding of the matrix because math is the universal language. Um so when he was writing out equations, he was just channeling that information. That was just information that was meant to be brought to the collective at this time. So it could be integrated into a lower vibrational consciousness. That's why Isaac Newton had such an issue with um, how physics, how like why he had such an issue with quantum physics is because, or he called it like spooky. Um, what was it? Spooky distance or something. He didn't understand how like atoms um, acted on a quantum physics level because it didn't work the same on the physical plane. And this is because Isaac Newton was like channeling all this information. So a lot of like the higher vibrational information still didn't really make sense to him. Like he understood that there was something else there, but his vibration wasn't high enough to understand quantum physics or what we know now.
That makes sense. I've heard it explained that like Newton's law and everything, and like Einstein's theories, like they relate to everything small, and quantum physics relates to everything large.
Yeah, and it was brought to the collective for a certain reason. So, like, we needed to know basic physical or like the physics of the physical third dimensional plane. But we didn't need to, or we had to integrate that first to understand our 3D reality. And as we go into the fifth dimensional plane, that's why we're able to understand quantum physics more, is because now it personally affects us.
It just seems like it's a natural progression. Just like you can't multiply until you learn how to add, do basic addition and subtraction, right? And then you build onto it. So it just seems like we had to learn about like the basic construct before we can think in abstract.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like all of these people in our history were like leaving breadcrumbs for us. So it's like I see Leonardo da Vinci and Thoth, and they have like breadcrumbs, and they're like throwing them for us, like like leading the way. But it's like they're leaving all this information for us to integrate these things so we can start to ascend into a higher consciousness.
Now, I just want to ask this question to lead to maybe future sessions. So you don't have to explain it in too much detail, but just like they've shown civilizations, like when they've done archaeological digs, they've shown civilizations, say 100 feet down, where it showed that the city's infrastructure was more advanced than the infrastructure we have now. So it shows that in our timeline, our history, that civilizations used to be more advanced. Now, is that true for the understanding of like numerology, geometry, everything that you're talking about today? Did you used to be advanced, more advanced than we are now, and it was wiped from the collective memory?
Yeah, so it's like, um, well, okay, so you had it was advanced, but in a different way. So it was advanced in like a spiritual way, extremely advanced in a spiritual way. So this is why like they were able to lift these huge stones with sound frequencies because they understood quantum physics and they understood like just the deeper, more spiritual connections. But then once you got into like ancient Kim and ancient Egypt, like it was still pretty spiritual, but they were like riding around on donkeys and the place that we're at right now, it's actually like a very comfortable time to be alive for humans. So like you have all of your basic needs met. So like back then they were so maybe not when like Lemuria, so they're showing me like just different cycles. So it's like these civilizations go through cycles. And no, right now we're not like the most advanced that we've ever been, but it's like the cycles kind of go through the same evolution. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think this is an opportunity to maybe in future sessions ask more about this. So I just wanted to kind of touch base, and I appreciate you. Um, all right. Well, is there anything more that you wanted to let us know about?
No, I think that's it for today, but just yeah, just like really get into that channeling state and just calm your mind and just see what you create, see what just comes out of you naturally. And I promise you it will be so beautiful.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all your work that while you're here on Earth and integrating those codes and for everyone who needed it on evolution, the spiritual path of evolution. And so, thank you for overseeing humanity and supporting us. And we love you guys.
Thank you.